As head coach of those Rams, Mark McConkey. Are you going to swear at me if I ask you about CFL rule changes and your take on Monday and throughout the week here, Mark?
No, not at all. Again, I probably have a different opinion than most coaches, I think, but no, not at all.
What do you think? Do you foresee down the road university adapting to the changes, or do you see them saying, no, we'll stay status quo and roll with it this way?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And again, U Sports is its own beast, right? So everyone's like, oh, like, are you going to do it? It's like, well, it's not up to me. Like, what is the U of R Rams coach is going to pick the rules? Like,
if it was, would you?
Well, I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm protected by U Sports. At the end of the day, yeah, like the CFL, they got to do what's best for their league, right? So everyone's like, oh, you got to be super mad. I'm like, no, like at the end of the day, they're a professional sporting league and they need to do what they need to do to increase popularity, butts in seats, TV viewership. So I'm not mad about it. Actually, some of the rule changes I like the play clock, some of those things are pretty cool. The one that probably gives us the biggest headache is the actual physical dimensions changing, right? The goalposts. And again, selfishly, how does that affect U Sports, right? So what's U Sports going to do? And again, there's probably 4 teams that play in professional stadiums, us being one of them, and then maybe Ottawa in the Panda game, Carleton when they play out there. So what is that going to look like? But at the end of the day, U Sports is going to do their research, and everything comes down to money. That's just what it is in U Sports. And so are they really going to have 23 universities change their field and make them get a new field in the next 2-3 years? Like, I don't think so. So I think we're going to stay status quo. If I had to pick, I think that's what the U Sports will choose to do, at least for the short time being.
Unless the CFL comes with a big bag of money and says, we'll start, replacing fields, which I don't think they have that big bag of money, to be honest with you. Go ahead, Craig.
I'm in for that. Yeah.
Well, you saw it. Like the U Sports came out fast, CJFL came out fast, Football Canada came out fast. Where do you think, I guess, if they go, screw it, we're all just going to go to the CFL rules now, what do you think that is? Because you came up growing up, so what do you think that's going to change in the grassroots programs?
Yeah, honestly, if they stay true to what the rule changes are and they do top down make the changes, like it's still 12 on 12. It's still Canadian football. You got the waggle. The field is still the same width. Yeah, it's a little bit shorter, but like who's going to miss the middle 10 yards, right? Other than quarterbacks who hit a long bomb just for their stats. It's still the Canadian, like that part of it is still the Canadian part of it. If we were to all of a sudden go to 11 on 11 and you all of a sudden get 4 downs, then I'm like, then that's where it gets a little fishy. But at the end of the day, that's what makes the Canadian game is like, yeah, you can talk about the Rouge all you want, and that's a whole different. I'm not going to get into that can of worms.
Oh, but
like,
come on, give 12, us. Give
no,
it to
the
us.
12 on 12, the motion, the guys moving. That's the Canadian game, and the deeper end zones. Yeah, it's shortened by 5, but it's still the Canadian game.
How many kids, and if you have, that you've had that come from 6 or 9 man ball that have had to adapt to a 12-man game?
Lots, right? And that's even minor football right now. Like I know Len Antonini and Giebert up north does a good job of it, is like they do play 6 aside. And then like the Mighty Mites are 6 on 6. And then as you grow, it goes to 9 on 9 and then 12 on 12. So it is a development league. Like we had that argument in our coaches meeting, kind of just being like, well, is that Canadian football? Because it's 9 on 9. And then there's high school teams like Ryland Sokol, guys like that who've played Thunder and Rams. Like they've had to make big jumps going from 9 on 9 aside to all of a sudden you're playing Thunder and it's 12 on 12, a bigger field. Like, so players can adapt, kids can adapt. It's not that's not a worry, but they still have the motion. They still got the movement. Like that's what makes the Canadian game so great, is you can do so much and you only have 3 downs.
You mentioned Ryland Sokol. I got to start doing some Thunder pumping while I can here. So
nuts.
You have a ton of athletes actually from the CJFL, not just the Thunder. Why do you think those athletes are succeeding at the U Sports level?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pump up Scotty McCauley's tires too much, but they do a great job, right? They get guys in there. They got a great program. Like, I mean, if you look at the Thunder's track record, they have a winning season every single year. It's kind of down to them and the Hilltops every year, the Battle of Saskatchewan. And they've got great coaches. They do a good job developing players. And then when they are either done their time or they choose to come to youth sports, they're ready to go. And they're just a little bit more physically mature. And lots of guys kind of need to go get some more playing experience, right, rather than not playing right away. But there's always going to be a few that can come in and play right away. So that's up to them to decide. But at the end of the day, like, the junior program's done a nice job getting those players a little bigger, stronger, faster, more developed, and just more game experience. And like a guy like Sokol coming from 9-a-side football, like that's a perfect spot for a guy like that.
Game tomorrow, Manitoba. Reason I love the league is because you never know what's going to happen. Game in, game out. We've talked about that a lot, Coach. Manitoba comes in here. Now, you, to your own admission, you learn a lesson from what Calgary does to you on the kick, although you win that game. What do you learn from Saskatoon and them maybe keeping that door open, letting them back in? They nip you up there. Both of those, I'm sure, have been solid learning tools for you and the team.
Yeah, definitely. We call them lessons, not losses, and it was a big lesson. And like the exciting part is, like, we lost to them by 2 points. I don't think we played our best football, which is the exciting part. Like, we almost won not playing the best football. So I'd say, like, I don't want to say I'm glad we lost, but it's kind of a good thing that we lost, just to be like, hey, like, we need to be better if we want to win in this conference. We talk about it all the time. We talk about 60 minutes. Like, we're not going to be up by 40 at half. Those games just don't exist in Canada West. So we got to play the full 60 minutes, and we got to execute when it matters the most. And we were able to do that in Calgary in that overtime game. Late against UBC, we had a big drive to kind of put the dagger in them and like things like that. So we just didn't find a way to execute late in the fourth quarter against our provincial rivals. So we just got to do our job the next couple of games here, get into playoffs, and I'm sure we'll be facing the Huskies again. What
does Manitoba have? What are people going to see? Not to give away the game plan against them, but what's their makeup?
Yeah, they're a good team. They got probably arguably the best quarterback in the conference. He was up for the Heck Crichton last year. He's just super athletic, kind of like Tim Tebow-esque, can run all over you and hurt you with his legs and with his arm. They got a lot of great receivers. They're fast. And then on defense, like, they're big. Like, they got big D linemen and they got athletic linebackers. So we're going to have our hands full. There's no, just because they're 2-2 or whatever, we're 3-1. Like, it doesn't matter in Can West. They're a good football team, and we just got to make sure we show up and be ready to go by 2 tomorrow.
So obviously the Canada West is always a knife fight every year. What drives the Rams now? What is your guys' motto, your reason to fight, I guess?
I mean, we just don't like the Huskies, so that's enough reason right there. Just like you, I'm sure you don't like the Hilltops either.
Oh yeah, I know. Tomorrow will be a knife fight as well in Saskatoon.
Hey,
I know.
I grew up right by that stadium. That's the norm.
yeah, for sure. No, at the end of the day, we're trying to just continually get better, and like, I think we got a lot to prove. I mean, be the same as the Thunder, right? When you look at the national stage, when you're recruiting these 5-star top Canadian players, some of them don't even know the U of R exists. And then you start talking about, like, we're always the underdog. We're a small school. We got 12,000 people. We don't have all the programs that U of S has and Calgary has and UBC. Like, when you look who we recruit against in the Canada West, like, there's no reason for us to even really be there. So we always have that kind of chip on our shoulder, but we still stay true to the Saskatchewan roots. Like, we're grinders, we're hard workers. We don't care what the temperature is, where we're going to play. We're just going to outwork everyone. And that's just kind of been our motto since I've been here in like 2007 when I played for Frank.
Yeah. Awesome. I was at a high school game in Austin last week listening to the game. And everyone's like, what are you listening to? And I'm like, oh, our university team's playing the other university team and all that. And I started going into like the different rules and all that, which I didn't know it was going to come up Monday. I was like, yeah, we got 12 men on the field. It's a bigger field, all that. They were like, oh, what? I was like, yeah, we play barefoot. They're like, what? I'm like, just kidding. Okay, Coach, have a good one tomorrow. I'm excited to watch. It should be a gooder, and then we'll maybe hopefully catch up next week.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Right on.